Alright, round 2, we won the die roll. Good start. Good start, everybody. A good opening end, too. We got a Gore Clan to rampage over. We got a Lightning Helix. We got a Curdy. So the question is, how do we start this? We're gonna keep this. Question is, how do we start it? Probably, since we got the Lightning Helix, we're gonna want to get red in the beginning, as well as green, and go off of a Curdy. That way, if we draw anything like a Noctel, if we do a Stomping Ground, we're fine. We can still put out the Loom Line. We got more red cards than we do white. Actually, I think it's an even split. But I think that's where we're going to want to stick at, although we do have a second red source to put down. The question is, if we go Temple Garden here, follow it up with a red source, we can still Lightning Helix next turn, but we can't Curdy Bolt. But on the flip end, if we do Temple Garden, then got a red source, we can still do the we can still fetch for this if we need it to be a Qasali Pride Mage, or if we need it to be a Noctel, but Noctel still does that. Yeah, it's just, I'm trying to think of what the best start is realistically, and I think it's to start off with Loom Lion, so that way we can put down the mountain if we need to. Especially if it's red deck wins. That's basically what I'm thinking. If it's red deck wins, I'm going to need to play somewhat conservatively. But you start your life total out with Small Zoo at 17. There's just too much forked bolts going on right now for me to put like a mountain out and follow it up with a Curdy and then have like some kind of tapped thing. There's too much of that going on right now. Okay, so there's a fair chance that we're playing Affinity, and if we're playing Affinity, we're going to need that, but he didn't do anything, so it's not like, I mean, I guess he could put down something and get Metalcraft, and then I could stop the Metalcraft and it wastes his turn, quote-unquote. But I think it's better to have some more aggression on the field and just play a tempo deck instead of a control deck right now. I think that's what we're going to do here. But playing the basic there still allows me to play a little bit better with my mana. Yeah, it's totally Affinity. Yes, like I said, they could have done something with Metalcraft and have the Mox Opal. That's what I was expecting. But if he doesn't actually do anything with the Mox Opal mana, then it doesn't matter, which he doesn't. So we're going to go ahead and just Lightning Helix this guy right now. Get it out of the way. Get into attacks. Play that tempo deck for all its tempo-y worth. We're going to put down the Windswept Teeth so that way we can get a basic planes to use Path to Exile with, since we're being conservative with our life total. Just in case he's got something crazy like plating that pops down. Or if he makes this into a, I think 4/4, right? Or is it 5/5? Arcbound Ravager's a thing, sure. Thoughtcast is also a thing. Currently he can make the Arcbound pretty big. If he's going to play a creature in response, I will path it. He is not. So we're going to go crack this for a bigger thing. Because we can rampage over the Arcbound Ravager. If he goes sack, 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 I can rampage over. Which would be an interesting play. If he goes sack, 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 sacrifice, he could make his Arcbound Ravager into a 5/5. We're going to need to have access to white and red, so Sacred Foundry is probably the best bet. Which doesn't stop Rampager from killing him. And then it also frees up our mana to Path to Exile whatever he puts the stuff on. So I'll go ahead and do this. I'll see if I can trick him into sacrificing some things. Looks like the trick did not go as planned, which is fine. We're still good. We still have Path to Exile mana open. So we'll put out the Curdape. And we've basically got game next turn if he doesn't do anything worth mentioning. I don't even think I'm going to Path on his turn, just because we can still Gore Clan on any of these guys, and it's game. And he can do sacks for his Arcbound. But it's still game, unless he has it absorb the damage. Now let's see what we draw here. Realistically, if I Path it, he's got 2 creatures to block. One of them's huge. And that means I can still get him for like 6 damage, which isn't really enough. We're going to want maybe more green here. Maybe more white, so maybe another Temple Garden. So probably have enough red as it stands. Even if I draw something that I have to use red for next turn, the only thing that I could imagine it being that's more important would be, yeah, green is what we're going to need. We're not going to need a double white. We're not going to need like triple white here. So Stomping Ground seems to be the best because, well, I don't even have main deck Volcanic Fallout anymore. My deck's right here, obviously. I can look at it. I'm going to need red, red, maybe white, white. I doubt I'm going to need green, green, but I might need red, red, white, white, green, green. If I wanted to do that, the best way to do it is red, 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 white, white. I need a green, and it could be anything else. I choose Stomping Ground then. Okay, Windfoot Hill's not helpful, but I should still have the kill here. Because depending on how he blocks, I can Rampage over this and then Path it still. And that gets me in 2 plus 6 damage. Which is not enough, actually. That puts him down to 2 here. Let's see if he's going to go ahead and sack things. Yeah, the question is whether he sacks things or not. If he sacks this, we're fine. If he starts sacrificing everything and puts it on Etched Champion, we're still probably fine. But if I Rampage over here, we've got 6 plus 2, that's 8. I mean, puts him down to 2, so any bolt I draw is death. We'll let this fly for now. See what he does with it. You gotta be patient with the Gore Clan. So I'm gonna let him do his sacrifice stuff that he wants to do. And again, that's probably fine. I can also then play the Gore Clan Rampager and still have Path to Exile mana open. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Because he's got 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that you can put onto the Inkmoth Nexus, so it's not necessarily a kill yet. I'll just crack this for a basic forest right now. I'm going to need to crack it anyways. And that should ensure that we win next turn. Because we have enough just basically to do damage here that it doesn't really matter. We still have Path to Exile. But we have to really think of pathing his Rampagers the best idea here. Let's see what he's got. Okay, so he's using the Opal, which means that he's not going to have enough to instant speed. Oh, he's trying to double plate? And that could be not an issue at all. Because we still have a blocker. Well, actually, we don't have a blocker. I mean, to get double plate, there's really nothing I could do anyways from the beginning. I could get him down to 2, but it wouldn't do much. So if he's got the win, he's just got the win. There's nothing I can do. Yeah, and he's got the win. So, even with all the math that I did last turn, the most I could get him down to was 2. So, wasn't like I had the win here. Wasn't like I had the win here. I think he's probably trying to figure out what I've got. And if he decides to play, like, he decides to play safe and go for it next turn, which would be crazy, then all I gotta do is swing with my Gorklane Rampager. I don't think he's going to, because he's got the win. Might as well take it. Yeah, so I could get him down to 2 like I did last game. This game I could have taken him down to 2, but that's it. We're going to bring in the Volcanic Fallouts. We're going to bring in the Wear Tear. And I believe we're going to bring in the Stony Silence, because that shuts that deck down entirely. If I had a Stony Silence in there, I would have won. We're going to take out the Gorklane Rampagers, because they're better when you're being the aggro. In this case, I am not being the aggro. Go back in there, Johnny Vengeance. We're going to take out 1 Luxodon Spider, again, because I'm not the aggro. I'm the control currently. And that's what we're going to keep this deck as. It should be good enough, because looking at just pure amount of removal that I have here, I've got higher than most people's amount against Affinity. I've got, let's see how much exactly that I've got. 21. Which seems pretty good. I mean, that's pretty much saying that every 3 cards I draw will be a removal spell against their stuff. I was stuck in a situation there where it wouldn't have even mattered, because I could have pathed an artifact, and it would have brought it down to 17-2, which still wouldn't have been enough to win, especially if the one that I pathed would have given two triggers on it. Yeah, there was no way to win that game. Like, I'm trying to replay it in my head and see if I made a crucial mistake. And I kept my life total high. I didn't take extra damage where I didn't need it to, especially if it wouldn't have mattered. 2 would have been counteracted by the 2 counters that he had on there. I could have gotten down to 2, and that was it. So I think I made the correct plays. If I didn't, you'll tell me. So. So anyways, we'd like to play first. We'll go ahead and keep this hand. It'll let us start aggressive and then start bolting. He's mulliganing, which is great for us. Yeah, let's just start aggressive and then continue to be aggressive, because then we could bolt whatever he puts out on turn 2. And if we've got any problems there, then we can also finish it up with a Volcanic Fallout, which will hit his, it'll put 2 damage on his, I don't know how that works, Prevention of Color plus Volcanic Fallout. Probably doesn't work out the way that I want it to. But we should, if he tries to rush out a, like turn 2 champion, we should be fine, especially with so many fallouts. Yeah, I'm totally sure we're fine. We're gonna crack this guy because we already got the basic. I'm gonna do it for the Sacred Foundry. We're gonna pay the 2 life because we're probably gonna use it next turn. Even if we don't, I'd like to have it up. I think we probably solidly have this game. Solidly. Sure, Mox Opal. Arcbound Ravager. Sure, he can eat it. I think at that point we go ahead and we bolt it. Because there's really nothing he can do here. I mean, he can eat that, but it doesn't make a difference. Can't turn on that. I mean, he can turn on that, and he can turn on that and eat it. But it still dies, and he loses most of his stuff. I at least would have turned on the Steel Citadel. I turn off the Inkmoth Nexus so that way he would have had a 2/2 Inkmoth Nexus whenever he needed it. But you know, I'm not... I guess I'm not the expert on these Affinity-like things. So we'll put that out. We're going to crack it for a basic, or we're going to crack it for a, not a basic, excuse me. Let's see where to put out, like, a Blood Moon, in which case we'll crack it for a basic in response. But, yeah, I mean, having a Johnny Vengeance out here, now we can keep, like, a Mox Opal tap down. Keep, like, a Inkmoth Nexus tap down if we wanted to. We're basically just going to play the control here. I guess we're playing the tempo, because we're still going to be using Wild Noctowl. We're just not going to be letting him do things. Well, I guess that's control, necessarily. Sure, lots of platings. I think we keep our mana open so that way the platings won't do anything. He's going for this Inkmoth Nexus kill. We're going to go ahead and take a Sacred Foundry off this, because we've got a Wear Tear in our library that we might want to use at some point in time. It's not like putting out the Ajani is a great move right now. We can keep... If we had like only one Inkmoth Nexus out, it would be fine. But from here, the game is not let plating touch anything. If we can help it. If he animates both Inkmoth Nexuses and attaches the platings to one of them or both of them, it's over. I mean, we make him lose both his Inkmoth Nexi. He's got no poison. He's got such a low amount of artifacts that even if he double attaches it onto a threat, we could probably not worry about it. We can keep his mana tapped down, keep the creature tapped down. Let's see what he's going to go for. Etched Champion, huh? Attaching a plating to it. Nothing we can really do about that, sure. That was the card to play. I guess that was the card to draw, technically. Path to Exile is a good card here. Not the best card here. We're not going to be able to target it with our Ajani. I wonder if we lose. I wonder if we lose because he drew the ex-champion. And there's nothing we can do about it unless we draw some form of artifact kill. Which it's already too late to stop to put the Stony Silence out there. Yeah, I think the best thing I can do here is drop the Ajani and gain some life. Does he have enough to Inkmoth Nexi kill me then? He's getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, he's got enough to Ink Moth Nexi kill me then. But if I just leave up Volcanic Fallout, he can just kill me with the attaching up the plating to it. Yeah, he just drew the perfect card to kill me. Both games, it just seemed like he just had the perfect card to kill me at that point in time. I'm just going to hope that he doesn't see that. I mean, I guess I got to Path to Exile in order to stop the Ink Moth Nexi, so I do have some out. And a Johnny is the best thing I can, in fact, do here. And this puts it so that if he doesn't attack my Ajani, I can tap this guy down from then on, unless he just leaves it up. If he decides to go for the Ink Moth Nexi kill, he can, but he's going to have to attach everything onto it, and then when I path it, that stinks for him. So Vault Scourge is fine. I mean, that still gets wiped away with Fallout, so that's not a big issue. That's 14. 15, 16, 17, 18. Still not quite enough to kill me. Because he was going to have to turn on his Ink Moth Nexi, which I can then path out his Ink Moth. Do I win the game then? If I path his Ink Moth, no, I gotta path out his Vault Scourge. That way I can then, well, I can't keep anything tapped down with a Johnny, but if I draw a Bolt, I can win the game. This is the only thing I can do, is hope that I draw a Bolt next turn, path his Vault Scourge, and this will drop his thing down so that I'm at 1. So, Bolt or I die. Well, that's a no Bolt. I don't think I can target this guy. Yep, I can't target him. So I'd have to target like an Ink Moth Nexus, which wouldn't do it. I definitely played this all correctly. There's just nothing I can do here. With the exception of him taking 2 life away, or even 1 life away, there's just no way I can deal with this. Played correctly, it's just... It's not like I could have gained 12 life. I'm just really trying to evaluate how I could have won. And with the exception of like an artifact kill, like if I got an artifact kill, I wouldn't have been fine then either. If I got an artifact kill last turn, I could have been fine. So again, this all depends on him having something that he can do to... He's got protection from color, so if I use Volcanic Fallout, it doesn't do damage to it. I mean, the damage is on it. It's not targeted, so it's on it, but it doesn't work that way. So without him like trying to play a Vault Scourge for... Whoa, he was gonna attack my Johnny? He can attack my Johnny all day if he wants. I'm okay with that. It's attacking me. Yep. So just for giggles, let's go ahead and kill myself. Deprive him the chance of doing it. He drew the correct card. If that was a turn later, I would have been able to win the game. Yep, GG. Bolt would have done it, so a turn later I had a bolt.